Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Baldur's Gate 3 with me, Bring It On. Alonzi. You peer down the hole left by the tentacle that drew Ketheric into the darkness. Will you leap after him? Yes.
The hole yawns back at you, impossibly wide. A single tentacle burrowed through stone.
My character's standing there with his hands on his hips, like he's a dad inspecting a car.
This must be where they harvest the tadpoles. We're close to the source of the infections.
I wager that devil I meant to rescue somewhere near.
Your father too, if our fortunes are so kind.
Ton of quest updates. We got 4 just dropping down here.
With haste.
Tread carefully. We are very close to the source of the Absolute now. That telepathic storm has become a tempest.
They're not attacking. Seems they think we're allies.
Not the first time that's happened. Okay, so we probably want to go east before we go south. Try and do Will's quest.
Descend. Obey.
A rune slate. A series of dots and broken lines, entries in a language you cannot read, and yet you sense their meaning nonetheless. Fractured reports from other colonies scattered throughout the Underdark. One in particular tells of an uprising, slaves breaking free from their fighting pits to swarm over the watching Illithids.
Seems I can understand Illithid's script. Thank you, Tadpole.
I'll not be too nice to it. We are trying to get rid of it.
How
I don't want you to
long
become
am I?
attached.
Well, in it.
Okay, we'll touch it.
Though the pod is empty, traces of psychic energy still linger about it, and memories of its former inhabitants spill into your mind. You see the streets of Baldur's Gate, the emblem of the Flaming Fist, martial drills and courtly dances. You feel the courage of a
Mind
soldier
flayers
who
and
became a
civilians,
commander. Memories
side
of the
by
intelligence of a
side.
commander who
And
remains
this
of
must
pod
be where they
inhabitants'
infect
former
and
self.
transform those they kidnap.
Raven Guard was here, in this pod not long ago. Fascination. He believed the horrors of Moonrise to be a fleeting dream that fade on waking.
I don't want to interrupt again.
Though the pod is empty, traces of psychic energy still linger about it, and memories of its former inhabitants spill into your amusement, curiosity, fascination. You see the streets of Baldur's Gate. He believed the horrors.
Okay, I'll wait for these to run out, and then we'll
martial drills.
do the rest of them. Looks like I'll have to click on it one time, and it'll go through all the dialogue.
You feel the courage of a soldier who became a commander, and the intelligence of a commander who became a duke. Raven Guard was here, in this pod not long ago. This pod pulsates with the angry memories of Ravengard's search officer, Manep Shurga. She laments her failure to locate him.
My head is glowing.
This pod pulsates with the angry memories of Ravengard's search officer, Manep Shurga. She laments her failure to locate him. Desperation, pain, terror. Cultists raided his village. He was the sole survivor. Your lungs burn with the dry heat of the fires raging about you. But the pain is not enough to diminish your swing. One goblin after another falls to your blade. A man's voice cries out through the thick smoke. Ravengard, you call, but the clang of swords and spell shouts of attacking drow are your only reply. Delirium, mania, laughter. His mind broke before the end, and he was laughing uncontrollably as the skin fell from his face.
What if that voice we saw was Zevlor? Can't imagine other children being down here other than the tiefling children we haven't found yet.
You remember the shattered windows of Elturel's High Cathedral? The burning black sky of Avernus beyond. In its horror, the blood war unites you. Tiefling, dwarf, and elf alike huddle behind the shields of your paladin order, waiting for salvation. But when it comes, disunity, the returned city casts your people out, the devils who dragged them down to hell. In the end, it is not your paladin oath that is broken. It is your faith itself.
I didn't realize these pods were inhabited. I didn't see the reflections of the creatures inside. I say creatures because this one has an illithid.
The device does not react to your presence.
Well, how dare it?
Courage. Conviction, defiance. Even as her organs began to dissolve, she believed she could resist. The device does not react to your presence.
Lay down your weapons, please.
So I wonder if activating this will release these prisoners. Because we hear this guy talking. I'm assuming this is Zevlor. Plus his tail is hanging out.
Your tadpole forms a telepathic connection with the device, and a chorus of static energy fills your mind. Every mind flayer in the room calls out hungrily from its pod, seeking release and sustenance. But there are others in the pods. Those not yet infected, not yet illithid, terrified, desperate to escape. The device is open to your tadpole's command, to your authority.
Release.
On I go then.
Nice. I didn't know Zevlor was a paladin. Once we read that dialogue, of course. I was trying to keep Zevlor alive. I'm going to help him out with Will and my paladin. I assume Yeva and Shurga are just here to eat some hits so that you try and keep Zevlor alive. I'm sure they have dialogue too, but they're not tied to a quest. Sorry, Shovel. So isn't it a little odd the Intellect Devourers attacked us because we released the prisoners? We had the authority to do so. There are better enemies for you to attack, buddy. There you go.
Swords meet sorcery.
Hells. I didn't think I was going to make it. Thank you.
Zevlor.
Watching gods. The Blade of Frontiers. Will? What happened?
I paid the price of angering the wrong devil.
And shouldered the cost to spare someone else a worse fate, I'd wager. I owe you an explanation. Much more than that. But first, please, the others, the ambush. Tell me they survived?
It's a secret. I can't tell you. I don't know the full story. The other tiefling said he abandoned them, but I don't want to accuse him until I've heard his side. They found refuge. What the hell's happened out there, Zevlor?
You've heard some of it, I'm sure. That I froze, or broke, or some other lie that is kinder than the truth. We were ambushed by cultists, yes. And then I heard her, their false god, whispering promises in my mind. I would be a paladin again, with a god's purpose, a god's power. Everything I needed to protect my people. And all the while, the cult tortured them. They fought and ran and died around me, while I imagined myself their savior. By the time I regained my senses, it was too late. I did not just surrender to the Absolute. For a moment, I welcomed it.
It sounds like you were being enthralled. It's not your fault.
It would be nice to think so, but whatever these monsters twist us into, I believe it begins in us. I won't make excuses. I can't make amends, but I know something of what you came to do. I want to help, if you'll let me. Ketheric is below. He thinks you're no longer a menace. Descend and show him how wrong he is. If there are any more survivors to be found, I'll find them and lead them out of this place.
I could use another blade in the fight to come.
Only if you can trust it won't be buried in your back. The Absolute swayed me once before. I won't risk it happening again. Go, my friend. Please, let me do this much. Hells. I didn't think I was going to make it. Thank you. The Blade of Frontiers. The savior I needed, if not the one I deserved. Finish what you came here to do. I dare say you've done enough for me.
I don't know how to thank you. I thought I was done for. This is a bleeding shit show. Half my squad's dead, the other half sporting tentacles. We came here to rescue Duke Ravengard. But we didn't stand a chance.
Did you see the Duke?
Yeah. He was in one of the pods. The cultists took him away. He was still human, and still trying to put up a fight. A couple of those flayers were comrades of mine. I'd have been trying to suck your brains out along with them, if you'd arrived any later. A couple of those flayers were comrades of mine. I'd have been trying to suck your brains out along with them, if you'd arrived any later.
Oh, stench. I'm beginning to think I should have stayed in that pod. In there it only smelled like me. Is there any news about Duke Ravengard? Did he get out alive? No. Tell by your expression. Gonna have to fall on my sword, aren't I? On the other hand, maybe I'll just live for revenge. Yeah, by Grumsh. That sounds like a plan. On the other hand...
Alright. Well. We rescued who we could.
Discern, faithful. We depart.
One day I'll catch a break.
Let's go further in and find Zariel's objective.
Brine pools, but empty of tadpoles. Unusual. Harvesting all the larvae indicates they are getting ready for something big.
Suspended Ceramorphosis. Dictated to describe Yanthus by Enver Gortash. Ceramorphosis, illithid larval transformation of a host humanoid into a mind flayer. Typically occurs in less than a 10-day after infection. But the tadpoles laid by our captive Elder Brain are enhanced due to the powerful Netherese magic of the Crown of Karsus. Our enhanced tadpoles induce in their hosts a sort of suspended Ceramorphosis, a state in which the host becomes susceptible to telepathic influence and even coercion from the Absolute, our Elder Brain. For our purposes, there are two key aspects to this influence. First, the conversion of the host into a mental lackey of the Absolute occurs entirely without the host's awareness. Its servility feels comfortable and natural, and is never consciously questioned. Second, the servile state persists even when the host is far beyond the usual range of an Elder Brain psionic control. So, quick theory. The Absolute, the Elder Brain, seems to communicate to those it's trying to influence as a female. I'm wondering if our little buddy in the artifact... Now, we get to create them at the beginning of the game, so it can be a male or female. I'm wondering if that's an Elder Brain inside the artifact, and that's why it's able to protect us from another Elder Brain. I'm trying to think of anything that may indicate otherwise. But it may not be the humanoid form that we're seeing. This phenomenon is spectacularly useful, given our ambitions. Probably don't want to walk through that. Gonna get in my boots.
That pod. Is that Mizora inside?
Also, why am I so roughed up?
Mizora, you're Zariel's asset.
My dumb little stinker. Took you long enough. Now, by Grazit's cock, get me out of this thing!
Not yet, Mizora. It's a seller's market now. Time we struck up a new deal.
Is it? Please, enlighten me.
You end it. No more pact, no more debt. Then I set you free, and you flip back to Zariel and leave me for good.
Now, why should I go letting my favorite pet off his leash?
Remember, all you can about devils and their contracts. So close. We'll re-roll that. I don't really want to waste a level 2 spell slot. But now we will. Oh no. Hey, there we go. Wait, did I not click on Fox's Cunning? Because I didn't get advantage, and I wasn't paying attention.
You recall an old incantation from a children's story, said to void a devil's contract. Abi diabole et nunquam redi.
Abi diabole et nunquam redi.
I've never seen such a fearless display of sheer idiocy. Fine, I'll play your game. But I amend the pact once I'm freed, not before. Clause F, Section 9. Soulbinder shall bestow reward or... Now, open the pot.
I don't know why the dialogue's
Fine.
cutting off.
Let her out.
My hands are completely off the keyboard and mouse, so...
The controls are open to your tadpole's command, to your authority.
Examine the device on the left.
You can make no sense of the symbol.
Yeah, everything's delayed. Examine the device on the right.
You decipher the symbol. It's an illithid sigil, meaning unleash.
Does unleash mean release, or does it mean turn her into a mind flayer and unleash that? We'll go with the simple approach. Gather your strength and smash your foot through the pod.
You did all right, Will. I'd give your belly a good rub, but never could stand the smell.
You're free, Missoura. I held up my end. Now you hold up yours.
Clause Z, Section 13. If the Soulbinder consents to separation, she will release the Soulbearer from all obligation within 6 months.
6 months? Gods damn you!
You didn't read the contract?
Ignorant thing. It's always the terms and conditions that get you.
I really can't stand this delay. It's like the animation starts for the dialogue without the sound, and then it resets and starts with the dialogue. But it's only supposed to run for so long, so it cuts off the end of the sentence. Except in this case, where it allows me to respond, it actually finishes the sentence. Yeah, so normally, as a paladin, I wouldn't want to ask for a reward, but it is a devil. I don't mind demanding things of evil creatures. You think we get a reward for going through all this trouble? Let's take advantage, because we have not been doing well in our rolls. I'm going to play it safe.
Another one? Well, after jumping through all those hoops.
A little treat wouldn't hurt. Oh great, she's gonna turn him into a full-fledged devil. I know we got a weapon. Is that what that was?
All that power. And to think you want to throw it away. Now, you've got business in the towers to take care of. Don't you fret. I'll find you soon enough. You're going to need me. Count on it. Oh, and go ahead. Tell your chums how we met. It's a real cracker of a tale. Ta-ta.
Missouri gifted Will an infernal rapier for his troubles, though she required some convincing. Infernal rapier grants high spellcasting, gain a +1 bonus to the spell save DC. Melee caster, instead of his dexterity modifier, the affected entity adds its spellcasting ability modifier to attack rolls. Ooh, planar ally Cambion. That'll come in handy. Conjure a fiendish Cambion to fight alongside you. It can cast Fiendish Charm, Draining Kiss, and Rays of Fire. We'll talk to Will in a moment. I assume he got the rapier. Nope. What? Imagine this soul as a blade. A good one, carefully looked after. A bad one suited for rusting in the rain. I said ruin. Flame-chewed and narrow, this blade is Will's soul summarized in steel. It's a finesse weapon.
Where am I needed?
But can use your spellcasting attribute instead. I don't think it's better than his current weapon. Well, maybe it is. This is only a +2. Kind of wish the Infernal Rapier also had the bonus effect. This hammer's magical powers only function if it's bound to an Eldritch Knight or as a Warlock's Pact weapon.
The pride of the gate.
I might give this to Shadowheart instead. Because he already has that effect. Pact weapons use the wielder's spellcasting ability modifier instead of strength or dexterity. So he'd be double dipping on the same effect and not gaining anything from it. Unless it stacks.
Can't give up now.
Which I find unlikely.
Can't afford to stay idle.
Do that for now.
Shouldn't have wished to live in more interesting times.
Zariel's asset was none other than Mazora herself. Of course. Tricks on top of tricks on top of tricks.
No, scratch that.
No, scratch that.
Okay.
Thanks be to you.
I wonder if it's bugging out because my character's size, but we spoke to Zevlor and the two Flaming Fists without issue. And last episode we spoke to Jaheira and Ketheric. So I think it might just be this area? Or maybe I have to reload. Mazora said you can talk about your pact in exile. It's time I know the whole truth. First we kill Ketheric Thorm, and I'll tell you everything you want to know. Anything more we should discuss? I guess that's it.
Step forward.
Go ahead and save real quick. And load and hopefully fix whatever issue we're coming across.
Best be on my way. No tadpoles in this brine pool.
A parasite, brimming with magic. Take it.
No more tadpoles in here. Wonder what happened to them.
Faith protects me. An empty brine pool. But then where are the tadpoles?
So there's a tadpole in there to take it.
An empty brine pool. But then where are the tadpoles?
Tadpole to be seen. What have they done with them?
Okay.
Moving in.
I guess I can't take it. Some body parts back here. A bed. Crystal ball. I'll go ahead and grab that. Never mind, can't reach it. Alright, Harry Henry's journal. These slick innards, these fluid chambers. How long have we been here, making thralls? I don't want to any longer. Merkel is drowned out in my head by my own spiral fears. The Bone Lord doesn't want a coward.
Discern.
None of this looks real. I'm in a kraken belly. I'm turned inside upside. I am dead. Merkel's gray waste always sounded peaceful. Not like this. Poor Harry Henry.
Embrace death. Become death.
The moment comes.
Alright, appreciably carried forward boots. Added shield. Alright, this is probably gonna be a fight. Closed mind. Letter from Ironfinger.
General Thorm was attacked. The order to evacuate given. You should not be here. I conclude you are one of the attackers.
Did your hat tell you that? Alright. I'll fight. Oh, whoops. Yeah, let's use that. And she was targeting Scratch. What a jerk. Oh, that wasn't impressive. Nag 2, Budge. I'm not worried about Ray of Sickness. No, I would prefer him to be closer, so that works out. Oh, darn.
Not even worms will want your carcass once I'm done.
This is my time.
Alright, nothing to it. Alright, letter from Ironfinger. She's gonna put one in me any day. Cressa, who was initiated the very same hour as I, all those years ago. She's gonna put a parasite in my ear when I sleep. Can't bear to be without a pet to experiment on. Needs to have a thrall locked away, so she can go further than Balthazar will let her. Cressa, I remember when we were just stopping on ant piles and raising them back up. Our very first deaths. I hope you remember. Somewhere. So she's the one that we read about in one of Balthazar's notes.
The easy path.
She's his prodigy. That's pretty intense. I do like the mix of the Merkle symbology and the Illithid architecture. I use that word loosely.
We will take the city. Every soul made true.
Alright, a journal of Magthew Budge. I remember our life as country surgeons back in Nashkel. We only ever wanted to be the best. To learn how to staunch any mortal wound. How did we get here? Cressa hasn't been herself since her pet True Soul was shipped out on that Nautiloid. I haven't been able to do so much as touch her. I find myself growing green at the thought. My own wife revolts me with those experiments. Not really my wife any longer. I thought getting that favorite creature dispatched would bring her back to herself, but she pines for that darn feral corpse with an aching need. She finds out I ratted out to Balthazar that she was keeping it, and got it sent away. She might kill me.
Hurry now. The city calls out. The chosen are my heart, and you my many hands.
Alright, Cressa's notes. I have seen 1,000 ears. Some have the reflexes to twitch when they know the worm is about to burrow. The worm takes longer to get through if the entry hole isn't cleaned. I have taken to torching them with an ear candle. It all makes for dull work. I am tired of ears. I am tired of my only order being create thralls. Apparently, all we need to know about the brain is being handled by the chosen. I am forbidden from studying these dull thralls. I need a new one that Balthazar doesn't know of. A creature of exceptional will, like my old dear pet, to keep fragments of its own mind while affected by the parasite. We need to know why.
My chosen gather below.
Alright, Mistress of Souls research log. Experiments on the first one, day 4. Again, I have noted a fluid leakage from the oral cavity and have ascertained the cause. Due to the unusual method of parasitic insertion, the secretions of the creature within are leaking out, rather than being absorbed by the brain, as we have noted in other thralls. I cannot say why the parasite is evacuating this oil, but it has the scent of garlic we now know indicates it has fed on the host's brain matter itself. I've collected a sample of ear fluid. Day 5. Vivisection day today. Showed no sign of pain as I was unraveling the long intestine, but instead grabbed the organ as if it were a rope, reached to wrap it around my neck as if to strangle me. All the strength in its poor arm is quite gone. Had to thread the guts back into the body. We'll try again another day.
The moment comes. The absolute moves.
Alright, good, this loops back around. Well, I'm going to call it here, and next time we'll continue through this area. And continue taking out the Cult of the Absolute.
Still alive.
But for now, thanks for watching. I hope to see you guys in the next one.